Imagine getting a knock on your door, thinking it's the landlord coming to evict you. Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it in your ears. You've worked long hours, done everything right, but life still found a way to pull the rug out from under you. Now picture this. Instead of the landlord standing there, it's someone else, someone who changes your entire life in an instant. This isn't just any story. This is about a man who was one step away from losing everything he had worked so hard to build. A Tesla employee, juggling bills and dreams, staring down the barrel of eviction. But then, out of nowhere, help arrived in the most unexpected form. Enter Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, the internet sensation whose generosity has touched millions around the globe. Known for his over-the-top stunts and jaw-dropping acts of kindness, MrBeast doesn't just give money. He gives hope. And today we're diving into one of his most emotional moments yet. The moment when he handed a struggling Tesla worker $50,000, not because they asked, not because they begged, but because sometimes humanity shines brightest when you least expect it. What happened next will leave you speechless. The raw emotion, the tears, the gratitude, it's all here. So buckle up. Because this story isn't just about cash, it's about resilience, compassion, and how one simple act of kindness can ripple through someone's life forever. Meet Alex Carter, not his real name, but the name we'll use to protect his privacy. Alex was living paycheck to paycheck, working tirelessly at Tesla, a company known for innovation and groundbreaking technology. But while he helped build the future of electric cars, his own future felt uncertain. Alex lived in a small apartment with peeling wallpaper and creaky floors. It wasn't much, but it was home, or at least it had been until recently. When rent hikes hit his neighborhood, Alex found himself drowning. No matter how many hours he put in at work, no matter how much overtime he squeezed into his already packed schedule, the numbers just didn't add up anymore. One evening, after another grueling shift at Tesla, Alex came home to find an envelope taped to his door. His stomach dropped before he even opened it. Inside was a formal eviction notice. He read it over and over, hoping it would somehow make sense or disappear, but it didn't. The date was set. If he couldn't come up with 2 months' worth of back rent by Friday, he'd be out on the street. For days, Alex tried everything. He called family members, but they were struggling too. He reached out to friends, but everyone seemed tapped out. Desperation clawed at him as he lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering what he could possibly do next. Little did Alex know, thousands of miles away, someone was watching, someone who saw not just a statistic or a faceless person in need, but a human being deserving of dignity and respect. That someone was MrBeast. Jimmy Donaldson had heard about Alex's situation through a mutual connection. Without hesitation, he made a decision that would change Alex's life forever. He flew across the country, arriving unannounced at Alex's tiny apartment complex early one morning. With a camera crew quietly trailing behind him, MrBeast knocked on Alex's door. When Alex opened it, still wearing yesterday's work clothes, he froze. Standing there was one of the most famous people on the planet. Before Alex could even process what was happening, MrBeast said 4 words that sent shockwaves through his entire body. "I'm here to help." Alex blinked, unsure if he was dreaming or hallucinating from exhaustion. He stared at MrBeast, who stood there with his signature warm smile and a glimmer of mischief in his eyes. You're really here," Alex stammered, still gripping the doorknob like it might anchor him to reality. "I am," MrBeast replied, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. The modest apartment felt even smaller, with the crew setting up lights and cameras, but none of that mattered. What happened next would stay etched in Alex's memory forever. MrBeast pulled out a chair from Alex's kitchen table, a rickety thing held together by duct tape, and motioned for Alex to sit down. "Let's talk," he said simply. For the next few minutes, Alex poured his heart out. He talked about his job at Tesla, the pride he took in being part of something revolutionary, and the crushing weight of financial stress. He admitted how close he'd come to giving up hope entirely. As Alex spoke, MrBeast listened intently, nodding occasionally, but never interrupting. When Alex finally ran out of words, tears streaming down his face, MrBeast leaned forward and placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You've been carrying this alone for too long," he said firmly. but you don't have to anymore. Then came the moment Alex could never have predicted. MrBeast reached into his pocket and pulled out a checkbook. Scribbling quickly, he tore off the sheet and slid it across the table toward Alex. At first, Alex didn't look at it. His hands trembled as he hesitated, almost afraid of what he might see. Go ahead, MrBeast urged gently. Take a look. With shaking fingers, Alex picked up the check. His breath hitched as his eyes landed on the amount $50,000. $50,000. Enough to cover his rent, catch up on bills, and maybe, just maybe, start building a safety net for himself again. For a moment, Alex couldn't speak. His mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. Then the dam broke. Tears flowed freely as he buried his face in his hands, overwhelmed by a mix of relief, disbelief, and gratitude. I don't know what to say, he choked out between sobs. Thank you doesn't feel like enough. MrBeast smiled softly, clearly moved by Alex's reaction. You don't need to thank me, he said. Just promise me one thing, use this chance to keep going, keep fighting. You deserve better than this. The weight of those words hit Alex hard. Up until now, he'd felt invisible, like just another cog in the machine. But in that moment, sitting across from someone who could have chosen anyone in the world to help, someone who chose him, Alex realized he mattered. His struggles mattered, and so did his future. Over the next hour, MrBeast stayed, chatting casually with Alex about everything from work to hobbies, to dreams they both had for the world. It wasn't just about the money, it was about connection. By the time the crew packed up and left, Alex felt lighter, like a burden he hadn't even realized he was carrying had been lifted off his shoulders. But the story doesn't end there. Because sometimes, kindness creates ripples far beyond what we can imagine. The days following MrBeast's visit were a whirlwind for Alex. For the first time in months, he slept soundly at night, free from the gnawing anxiety that had haunted him. He paid off his back rent, settled overdue bills, and even treated himself to a decent meal, something he hadn't done in ages. But as the initial shock wore off, something unexpected began to take root inside him. Purpose. Alex started thinking about why MrBeast had chosen to help him. Out of all the people struggling out there, why had this stranger shown up at his door? The answer came to him one quiet evening, as he sat alone in his apartment, staring at the check tucked safely inside a drawer. It wasn't just about money, it was about belief. Belief that Alex could rise above his circumstances, that he had value, that his life mattered. Determined not to let this second chance go to waste, Alex made a decision. He would use the remaining funds to invest in himself, not recklessly, but thoughtfully. He enrolled in online courses to sharpen his skills, bought tools to tinker with electric car designs during his free time, and even started volunteering at a local shelter, helping others who were struggling like he once had. Word of what happened spread quickly. Friends, co-workers, and even strangers reached out to share their support. Some offered job leads, while others simply wanted to hear his story. What surprised Alex most, though, was how many people told him they'd been inspired to pay it forward. One coworker admitted she'd started donating anonymously to families in need. Another said he'd finally mustered the courage to ask for help, after years of suffering silently. Then came the twist no one saw coming, not even Alex. A few weeks later, Tesla CEO Elon Musk caught wind of the story. Known for his bold moves and unconventional leadership style, Musk decided to reach out personally. In a brief but heartfelt message, he thanked Alex for embodying resilience and innovation, the very qualities Tesla stood for, and invited him to present some of his ideas directly to the company's engineering team. When Alex received the email, he nearly dropped his phone. This was more than just an opportunity. It was validation that his hard work and determination hadn't gone unnoticed, even when he felt invisible. Validation that he belonged in the world of cutting-edge technology he admired so much. As Alex prepared for the meeting, he couldn't help but reflect on how far he'd come. From the brink of eviction to sitting across from some of the brightest minds in the industry, it was almost surreal. Yet through it all, one truth remained clear. None of this would have happened without that single act of kindness from MrBeast. But just as things seemed to be falling into place, another challenge arose, one that tested Alex's newfound strength in ways he never anticipated. The day of Alex's big presentation arrived, and nerves buzzed through him like static electricity. He stood outside Tesla's headquarters, staring up at the sleek glass building that symbolized innovation and ambition. This was his moment, the culmination of everything he'd fought for. But as he stepped inside, something felt off. During the meeting, Alex pitched his ideas with passion, laying out detailed plans for improving battery efficiency and streamlining production costs. The room fell silent as he finished, the weight of expectation hanging heavy in the air. Then came the questions, sharp, probing, relentless. Some were fair, others felt designed to trip him up, but Alex held his ground, answering each one with clarity and confidence. Just when it seemed like things were going well, a senior executive raised a point that stopped Alex cold. "Your designs are impressive," the man said, leaning back in his chair, "but have you considered the ethical implications? What happens if this technology falls into the wrong hands?" Alex froze. He hadn't thought about that angle, not deeply anyway. His mind raced, searching for an answer, but before he could respond, the executive continued, "We can't afford to take risks like this. Not now." The room shifted uncomfortably. Alex felt the ground slip beneath him again, just as it had before MrBeast walked into his life. Was this where his journey ended? Had he reached the peak only to stumble back down? As the meeting adjourned, Alex walked out feeling defeated. For the first time since that fateful day, doubt crept back in. Maybe he wasn't cut out for this world after all. Maybe he didn't belong here. But then, late that night, as Alex sat alone in his apartment replaying the events in his head, his phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "Don't give up yet," it read. "Sometimes the hardest battles lead to the greatest victories." Before Alex could process who might have sent it, or what it meant, a second message appeared. "Check your email." His heart pounding, Alex opened his inbox. There, waiting for him, was an email from someone high up at Tesla. Someone who believed in his potential despite today's setback. Someone offering him a lifeline, and a chance to prove himself once more. What happens next will change Alex's life forever. Will he rise to the occasion, or will the pressure finally break him? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think sent those messages? And do you believe Alex has what it takes to overcome this latest hurdle? Stay tuned for part 2, coming soon.